If you want to help your anxiety, you need to understand anxiety. Anxiety is a wild thing. We've all got it. It happens to us all. And it is a precise and complex physiological and neurological process. So we're going to, even though we know a lot about it, we don't know all of the things that underline it. There's a lot of different competing underpinnings that happen to make it go through the process that it does. Let's break it down, some step-by-step processes, and then we can talk about how to intervene on some of those processes to make it so that we can overcome and combat it on a physiological, neurological level, so you can have the success and the peace that you need. Number one is that we're gonna have a perception of threat. Something's gonna come into our mind, into our state, and we're gonna be, I don't know if I like that, and it's gonna trigger a reaction in our mind. After a perceived threat, we're gonna have a neurological underpinning that's going to activate something called the amygdala. It's kind of our watchtower, the fiery furnace that keeps us alive and on alert to say like, oh, there's a saber-toothed tiger in the brush trying to protect us. Then we have the activation of the hypothalamic-pituitary-adrenal-axis. This is going to release corticotropin hormone, which is going to stimulate some actions in the body. As a result of that, that's going to stimulate our adrenal glands. The adrenal glands are going to cause a physiological reaction, a response. We're going to increase our heart rate, our blood pressure is going to go up, we're going to get sweaty or clammy hands, kind of the simulations that we get from anxiety that's due to large scale of these hormones. And then we're going to have that cognitive emotional reactionary response where we're heightened, we're elevated, we're emotional, we feel threatened, we feel the danger, we really feel it in our body and our mind, and it's uncomfortable. That's kind of the process that we're going to go through as we're activated from the initial perceived threat. So this process is going to happen like over milliseconds to a few seconds that can extend into a couple of minutes. So initially, like if for example, you're walking through the woods and you see a bear, you're going to have the perceived threat that's going to activate your HPA axis, that's going to communicate to your adrenal glands, that's going to begin to release stress response hormones. That will do a number of physiological things for your body. It's going to enhance your sympathetics, so your pupils are going to dilate so you can see better around your surroundings. Your adrenaline's going to pump, which makes you more active physically, so you can be able to outrun or defend yourself according to this bear. Your heart rate's going to go up and you're going to be prepared for a quick jolt of physical activity. That's when the emotional reaction is going to happen, that you're going to kind of like stone out, and then there's those fight or flight reactions that you can have, like fight or flight, you can fawn, you can kind of like paralyze yourself to be able to not do anything like that. That's the freeze reaction, and those are kind of the things that's going to happen on emotional regulation. It can happen super quickly. So we just got chased by the bear, we had our full reaction happen, we were able to outrun it, and now we're like panting and feeling those hormone responses that are happening into our system. Let's go through step by step of the process on the neurology as to what's happening with the individual structures inside the limbic system of our brain, inside the neurotransmitters. So in the deep center of our limbic system, there's a little tiny peanut-shaped structure of the brain called the amygdala. It's that watchtower. It's constantly on alert, and it's like this head trafficking center to kind of keep us aware and alert of everything that's going on. It's going to constantly be telling us that we're in danger, and 99 times out of 100, we're not, but it's its job to keep us constantly vigilant and alert for danger. There's a number of neurotransmitters that play a role in anxiety. One of them in particular is gamma-aminobutyric acid, or GABA. And GABA is an inhibitory response, and so when we have a lot of anxiety, oftentimes we use a lot of our GABA, and it inhibits the reactionary response, so it dampens our ability to be overwhelmed and reactive with the stress response hormone. So when we're low on our GABA, we have the potential to have higher and greater impact with our anxiety, shutting off our medial prefrontal cortex, which dampens our capacity to have an appropriate emotional regulation response to it. So when those are inhibited, we have a greater anxiety reaction, hence anxiety.